Can I sit now for questions?
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm old.
Because we're going to kill ourselves on this carpet as well.
I feel much better now. I can
Has
sit.
anybody got any questions?
Yes, please.
If you want
questions.
to tell us whether it's for Andy or myself.
Come on, someone must have a question. Hello, Becky.
Any tips on that boredom or emotional eating?
Yeah, I would binge eat a lot. Sometimes it would be boredom. I remember binging sometimes 3 times, I can remember, to the point of actually being physically sick, where I'd eaten so much. And so what I do now is I look at, I know some of my danger areas. So if I'm bored, I'll try and find myself things to do.
Yeah.
I used to not be able to go into a petrol station and just get petrol. I'd go and get a bar of chocolate or a can of drink or crisps, and it was almost like I was on autopilot. So the way I get away from that now is I just pay a pump. Then I've got no business being in the shop. I'm just going to go, I'm going to pay for my fuel and I'm going to leave. Or I take things in the car. So like for the journey up here, I brought bananas and satsumas and I put in bottles of Diet Coke and water, so I knew that for the whole journey I had no reason to stop unless I needed the toilet. That was the only thing I had to stop for. So I think it's just planning, and I think boredom for me is the big one. So I just try and find things to do, and you know, if I'm too bored, I'll watch a YouTube video or something.
Definitely. Keep busy. I watch millions of YouTube videos about Slimming World. I watch everybody's Insta stories. I watch people on Snapchat. There's a lot of Irish Slimming World consultants on Snapchat. So that takes up the time. And keep busy in the house as well. There's always a cupboard that needs sorting out rather than a chocolate bar that needs eating. I've been to Tesco this morning and I bought 2 bottles of water only because that's all I needed. I didn't need anything else from Tesco, whereas before I would definitely have bought some cherry bakewells. What are they, 5 cents more?
No idea, you know, seems much better than I do.
So yeah, it's just keeping busy, and that your support network is really, really important. If there's any, if you're ever in that kind of mood, then get on your Instagram, get on your Slimming World. If you're in Slimming World, your Slimming World group should have a personal Facebook page. Go and post on there, go and post on your own, you know, page or whatever, and you'll get so much support to help you, like I've received, and I wouldn't be without it now.
Actually, I'm interested now, I'll ask you a question. How many of you do it online? Don't go to a group, just by a show of hands. Oh, you all go to groups, amazing. Oh, 1, okay. Oh, 2, so there's only a couple of you who do it online. So, how many of you, a lot of you use like the Facebook groups, like Pinch and Nom and stuff like that? You're all in there, and the recipe groups, do you all look for recipes online? Cool.
Really good, yeah, so just post out looking for that support when you're struggling, because you'll receive it tenfold.
Patrick, ask me a question.
Ask you a question?
Yeah. No pressure.
What's making this happen? Question. So, what do you think has been the kind of the biggest struggle? Because obviously you've lost a lot of weight. What's been the biggest struggle that you found on a day-to-day basis with meals and with kind of preparation, and if you don't have much time? So obviously you've got family and kids and stuff like that.
I think for me, meals and prep are quite relatively easy. I mean, the hardest thing for me is basically the depression and anxiety, because it's hard to concentrate. The only way I can describe it is it's like I step out of myself and someone else steps in, and that's a much stronger version of me than me, and they kind of control me, and I just hang on and let them do whatever they're going to do, and I just have to kind of be, all right, this will work itself out. And I have to stop beating myself up about the gains, because over the last 3 or 4 weeks I've gained, I think, about 4 or 5 pounds. It could have been worse, because I didn't want to go Thursday, and I did. And I actually sat outside group on Thursday crying for about 10 minutes. And fortunately no one saw me, because my car was facing away from the door. And I eventually went in, and I found, and this has been true a few times now, that it's never as bad in reality as it is in our heads. in our heads, it's going to be much worse because we're sitting outside thinking, oh my God, I've eaten everything in sight, I've eaten chocolate, I've eaten this, I've had ice cream, I had takeaway on Wednesday, and my mate came around on Thursday and we had cake, this is going to be awful. And if you actually go in and stand on the scales, it's not actually that bad. So when I went in and I'd only gained 3 pounds, it was almost a sense of relief because in my head I was like, this is going to go really badly and I'm just going to cry even more and I'm going to be a mess. And they're all going to be like, what's the matter with you? I'm like, I don't know. And it wasn't that bad. So I think that's the hardest thing for me is just when that comes, is dealing with it. But the thing is I find now that because I talk about it and I'm open about it, and I think it's harder for men to talk about it because we think that we should shoulder the burden and we shouldn't cry and we should be all manly and strong and just get on with it. But that doesn't really help. That just makes the whole situation worse. So since I did a post on Facebook about 2013, I think it was, and I literally just put it out there. It's the first time I'd ever spoken about it. I just went, you know what? This is my life. This is what I deal with, and this is what I go through every single day. Deal with it, or you know, we're not friends. And that was it. And everybody was luckily really supportive. And because I'd even kept it away from my family. You know, my family didn't know anything about it. And you know, I felt really bad for Lisa because you know, you see Lisa every now and again, she pops up on my video. She doesn't like it, but she'll reluctantly go on an Insta Live once in a while. Ollie's more up for it than she is. But every now and again, she was like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, well, you don't tell anybody. That's the point.
Shall we have a look what Lisa's posted on Instagram?
What she posted today? Oh God, no.
I've just got an alert. Let's have a look.
She was trying to get me a dinner date for yesterday. She was trying to set me up with a dinner date. I was like, we're engaged. What are you doing?
It's not going to load now.
What's all that about? It's like, it worked though. There's a lot of us. Did she post anything? I don't know.
Yeah, it's come up, but it's not loading.
Oh, no, it's the Wi-Fi here. It sucks. You can ask me another question. Ask me another question. Helen, ask me a question. Come on.
You mentioned earlier about suffering with anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
You said about just basically just holding on tight and just going through it.
Yeah.
Are there any other things that you do to help it? Because when I suffer with it, I really suffer with it too, and I'm open to any suggestions that you've got to help with that.
I try to distract myself. So the way I look at it is that it's kind of like intrusive thoughts, and they're intruding on me temporarily, and they don't belong. So I try to just think to myself, you know, these are intrusive thoughts that are trying to get me to do something or take me somewhere that I don't really want to go, and I'll try to just put them to the back. I mean, sometimes it's easier than others. I'll try and distract myself with music. You know, I listen to music. I think it's just a thing of if I sit for too long and think about it, it will get worse. And if I don't try to do something about it, then that's when I'll easily spiral. So if I don't want to spiral anymore, you know, I wouldn't say that I'm completely cured and that it's 100% great, because obviously the past 4 or 5 weeks it's not been good. But I'm getting a lot better at dealing with it and making it not so bad. So I think, you know, like for instance, when I first started SlimCon, I would never, ever have been able to, I would have got to the door, looked in the window and thought, right, that'll do me, see you later. And I'd have been back in the car and back down the M6. So, you know, the fact that I can make it into a Slimming World group and sit, and, you know, it was tricky when my original group shut down. And I thought, I've got to go to a new group and I've got to start again. And my anxiety was like, there's going to be new people. And like, fortunately, like 6 or 7 people from my old group went to this new group, so that made the transition really easy for me because I was going to know people. And so I think it's important, you know, I've always advocated groups. I mean, even though I did those videos, could Slimming World be better? You know, I've not finished with those, by the way. There's more coming. I'm not finished with Slimming World yet. But I do that out of a place of love, because I do like Slimming World, and I think that it's the right place for people if they really want to substantiate a long-term weight loss. And I believe in Slimming World, otherwise I wouldn't do videos about it. But I do think that it could be better. But I've always advocated going to group, because I think that the support of people that you get, because if you're in a room full of people that are all walking the same path as you, they all feel the same thing, they're all going through the same thing, it just makes it so much easier if you know that someone else feels the same as you, you know, and that someone else is maybe anxious or someone else is hurting, and if there's something that you can say to them, just those fleeting little comments sometimes, for me, can make a difference. So when someone just takes the time to come and say, how you doing? And that makes a difference, which is why I always like to go to group. But I think music, and just distract, and try not to concentrate too much. Like I couldn't, last night I was starting to think about today and thinking, I don't know. So I just put on the TV. And
I've had 3 cries already.
I watch football. I don't even like football. I was watching football last night on the telly. It's like to distract myself. Yes, Patrick. What? A question? What?
Yeah, I was just
Hello.
going to say, the anxiety and depression, would you say that, even though obviously you're still suffering from it now, would you say that it has like a big connection with like, your body image and how you feel like you feel within yourself?
Yeah, part of it. I mean, I've kind of, I don't think I've ever grown up happy with how I look, because I've been big ever since I was a kid. So I think the anxiety and depression for me has stemmed from childhood. I was bullied as a child. I went through lots of stuff at school. So I was never one, you'd see all the other kids at school, their girlfriends, and they were all that kind of stuff, and that was never really for me. So I was always the one that was picked last for things, So I kind of grew up thinking, well, this is how life's going to be for me, and I thought that was all life would ever have for me. So I never really liked the way that I am, but now even just with the little bit of weight I've lost, I've started to become more, I wouldn't say happy, I'd say accepting is more of the word. I'm more accepting of how I look and the way I look at it now. And I think the best way to look at it, and if you take something away, I would say look at it like this, is we're going from 2 points, where we started and where we want to finish. And everywhere that we go through on the way, it's just somewhere that we're stopping for a little while. So this version of me that you see now, I'm just here for a little while, and then I'm moving on somewhere else. And I'll move on to the next version of me, and the next version of me, and the next version of me, until I get to the end. And then that's it. So I always look at where I am, and that's helped me to become more accepting of me as a person. I wouldn't say that I would get up in the morning and look in the mirror and go, "Whoa, look at you." It's like, I've not got to that point yet, and I'm not sure I ever will, but I can, I'm more confident to go out, and I'm not as anxious of, are people looking at me because of, my size, or are they talking about me? And it was quite hard actually when I had the merman, because I was in 2 minds whether to do that. So I was originally going to do it when I lost 6 stone, and then it was getting towards 7, and people kept reminding me, going, "When are you going to do that merman thing?" I was like, yeah, I was, wasn't I? And then I kept trying to put it off, and then everyone was like, yeah, but you got the merman. I was like, oh, I'll do it. And the reason I kept putting it off is I thought, well, I'm quite big, I'm tall, now I'm going to have blue hair, blue beard, this is going to be bad. And it was actually quite a positive thing, because it pushed me into really out of my comfort zone. I went out and I just thought, okay, I'm out. I've got blue hair, a blue beard, so what? And I just went out, and it was actually a really positive thing. So I'm a lot more comfortable now. You must be much more comfortable now.
I just want to say, with regard to the exercise, even from that photo, which is about 2 weeks after I started Slimming World, I've done exercise. So if I can do it at 26 stone, then anybody can do it. I walk the dog. I started with 5 minutes around the block, then 10 minutes, then 15, and now built it up and up and up. I did workouts on YouTube, and gradually I've worked it up, and now go to the gym 3 times a week. So for me, exercise. For me, exercise is really important, and those things that Vincent showed us are the type of things that you get shown in a gym. I can assure you, because I've been to classes. So if any of you guys can take anything from today, obviously the food is important, but the exercise is a really good factor, and it'll just contribute to your own confidence and your own self-esteem, and helping you feel more confident, and and that blooming top, that is a 32 to 34, and I'm stood here in a size 18 dress. all my photos, you know, just casual holiday photos and things like that, they're in a bloody top like that. I'm sick of seeing it, but I'll continue. And I've still got more to lose. I'm not saying that I'm at target. I want to lose. I'd like to lose at least another 2 stone, and I hope you'll all support me in that.
Question?
It's not really a question. Hi guys. Hi Debbie and Andy and hi everybody else. My name's Serena. I've been on a weight loss journey myself for many years. I've actually kept my weight on for 7 years now.
Well done.
Every day. I've lost over 6 stone, and every day is a struggle. And I also suffer mental health like yourself, Andy, and I do a really tough job. And at work, nobody knows what I go through. They just see me as a really, really strong person. But I just wanted to say that I do watch a lot of the bloggers in this room, and you are my comfort zone. And when I watch you, it's like I have to do this for my daughter. I have to be really strong for my family. But it's almost like you guys are there for me. And I came here today just to see you guys because you're like my mates. I'm in my kitchen and I'm like, you know, watching.
If anybody wants to come up and introduce themselves to
I
us,
just
then
want to
please
thank
do.
everybody that takes the time to put these on YouTube and that because it really is an inspiration. When you're watching somebody and they're real, they're keeping it real, they're there and they're just normal people and they say, oh look what I got from Tesco, you can't get that. It's just a really, really comfort and I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, well done. And we just want to say thank you for watching us and thank you for subscribing and commenting. And also, you, as I said in my speech, I think you underestimate how much support we get from you. Even those of you who don't comment and are just there in the background, I can honestly feel the support behind it. It's like people are pushing me along and lifting me up on my journey, and I'm so grateful for that. I make videos every week, and it's for me as well as for you, and that's I believe truly that doing YouTube is what's kept me on this Slimming World journey. I'm only a small channel. I've got 2,000 subscribers, but every one of them counts. So please come up and say hello because I'd love to meet you. And I would like to thank you all personally for all the support you provide to me.
Hello.
Thank you.
I think it was really important for me to talk about that aspect of Slimming World for me because I know I'm not the only one, and I know that you know there's a huge correlation between weight problems and mental health problems, and a lot of people, you know, if they're anything like I was, you know, you feel ashamed, you feel hopeless, you feel worthless, you feel all these things. And that's why you don't want to talk about it because you're worried about how people will perceive you. You know, you think, well, how are they going to take how I am? And when I'm talking about something like this, you know, and you get to the point where you just, like for me, I spent so long just not talking about it because I thought, well, I don't want to, you know, I think part of it is you don't want to burden other people with your problems because you think, well, they've got their own things going on and their own lives, and I don't want to start piling all my stuff on them. And it's like, And so you don't, and you bottle it all up and you don't talk about it. So I thought it was important for me to, along the way, because I knew, I mean, you look at people that are losing tremendous amounts of weight, you know, like Debbie and Patrick and the Foodie Slimmer, Charles, who's lost like 15 stone in 15 months. And I knew that my journey was always going to take longer than that because I've got other things along the way that I need to deal with. But I knew that that was a really important thing, and that's why, you know, part of my channel was always going to be predicated on the mental health side of my journey, because I think if there's other people out there and they can see that you can still do this, you know, it doesn't matter how long it takes. And that's the key that I wanted to teach people is, you know, one of the biggest things. And I had a lady once on Instagram, she went away, she came back in the middle of a live, and she was like, and she said, oh sorry, I have to pop off. I was like, oh, what for? She went, I have to go and get a pen. And so she was writing all these things down. She said, can you say those things again you said like 5 minutes ago? She said, I didn't have a pen. I was like, all right.
I always want to write down what you say, Andy.
So the one she wanted to write down was no matter how far the journey, the destination always remains the same. And so what I mean by that is, if we left here today and we were all going to, say, Edinburgh, some of us might get on the motorway, there'll be no traffic, we'll be there in absolutely no time at all. Others might go and they're going to hit every detour, every roadworks, it's going to rain, you know, the raccoon's going to run out in front of the car. It's going to take forever. But we're all still going to Edinburgh. The destination's never changed. We're just taking a different route, and everybody's going to take a different route. And I think that's, you know, sometimes what halts us, because we see people that are doing really well, and you think, well, they're doing really well, and I'm doing really slowly. And that's not a bad thing, because everybody that's on this journey is going to take a different amount of time. We're all going to take a different route, but ultimately, where we started and where we're going will always be the same. So never be kind of like hard on yourself that it's taking longer, or you're only losing half a pound, or you're only losing a pound. I have weeks like that, you know. And
when people are disappointed with losing a pound, please don't, because it all adds up. My average at the moment is £1.5 a week, but you know, if I can receive my next award, it's worth it. It's truly, truly worth it. I promise. If you're disappointed with £1 a week, then don't be, because that's my average, and you know, here I am. 11 stone lighter, so it does add up every pound, and you've got to look at it as a lifestyle. This is your way of eating. This is my way of eating now, so I'm not going to change that, and weight loss is a bonus.
Well, someone posted the maths, didn't they? What is it? £1 a week is 3 stone 10 a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like just £1 a week. So
that's
£50.
£52.
Yeah, which is 3 stone 10. So that's a lot in a year. So it's like, so I kind of like felt really pressured because I was so big. I felt this pressure that I need to always lose a lot of weight, especially in group, because I think people thought that because I was so big that I would literally just fade away like a snowman in the sun. You know, I was like, but that's not how it's going to work. I was like, so I'd be out there and I'd be like, and people always seem surprised, and they go, because they always look at me with this kind of like, it's like an excited dog. You know, they're like, how much did you lose? And I'm like, put on a pound. And I'm like, they're actually really surprised when I say I've had a gain. I'm like, well, it happens to me like it happens to you. You know, it's like, I'm not, just because of my size, that doesn't mean I'm not going to have a gain. You know, it's like, I'm going to have lots of gains. And I've had lots more gains than a lot of people. But that's just all part of it, you know, and it's just part of what you've got to learn to accept, and just realise that there is going to be bumps. There are going to be times when it's not going to go right. But as long as you keep taking steps and you put one foot in front of the other, you're going to get where it is
just
you want to go.
keep going.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Just keep pushing forward.
I've had a gain every 4 weeks for the last 3 months, but it hasn't put me off, and overall it's an overall downward trend. I haven't done anything different on those weeks. It's just something bodily function or whatever, you know, I just keep going, and when I come home from group at night, there's no celebrating and there's no commiserating. I'm on plan with a Slimming World meal, and I just go on into the next day hoping for, you know, just to keep on with this journey. So if anybody wants to start a weight loss journey, then start today, because you can do it. When I stood there, if you'd have told me last year that I would have lost 11 stone and I'd be sat on a stage doing a squat or whatever it was, I'd have completely not believed you. Right, we're being wrapped up, guys.
Have we got time?
All right, calm down.
Have we got,
Well, no, sit down, sit down, stand up.
yeah, bottle of water, resistance bands. Come on. Is there any more questions? Anyone else got any questions?
Yes, Andy.
Hello. Hello, John.
New ideas for Quark.
Oh, why now? Yeah, I love Quark. Quark kind of, I missed out on Quark for ages, and all these people were talking about Quark, and I was like, what is this stuff? And I made the mistake of just taking off the lid and just taking a spoonful, and I was just...
Don't do that.
It was
Don't
awful.
explain Quark,
So,
please.
I was like, never again. There's a few interesting things. I mean, I posted the picture of that sundae, which I get into trouble for from Lisa, because she said I take credit for that and she made it. So if she ever asks, I today admitted that Lisa made that sundae, it wasn't me. So she made me this sundae, so she put Quark with the Jordan's white chocolate skinny syrup, which is sin-free, and she took an Alpenbar. I don't actually like Alpenbars and Hi-Fi bars apart from this. So she basically wazzed that up and made it into a powder thing. We used some chopped pots, which is the one that's more like Nutella, not the syrupy one. So she put some of the Alpenbar on the bottom, then some chopped pot on top, and then she just layered up some fruit and some strawberries and some more chopped pot, another little bit of that. And then the lovely people you can see at the back from Oso, we grated some of that on the top as a little sprinkle on the top. And I'd had my bee for the morning, so that was still only 5.5 sins, and it was in a huge sundae glass. So if I would have split my bee, I could have done that for 2.5 sins. I'll put in cucumber and garlic and make a kind of little dip thing.
Yeah.
I've done one with salmon. I've got smoked salmon and dill and salt and pepper and a little bit of lemon. And depending on what consistency you want, just whiz it, and you can have it smooth, or you can have it a little bit thicker. What do you do with Quark?
I make a garlic and herb dip. Just chuck it all in, add a little bit of water. Just your garlic granules and some mixed herbs, a little bit of water, mix it in. I make my grape nut cheesecake, which is for breakfast. So 40 grams of grape nuts for your healthy extra B, some flavoured sweetened quart. You can either use chop shop or highlights for sins, or you can use your skinny syrup or sweetener for free, and then your speedy fruit on the top. So that's a lovely cheesecake. Leave it overnight in the fridge. And recently what I've been enjoying is 2 Ryvita fruit crunch. Who would have thought I'd be eating Ryvitas? Which are 2 for your healthy extra B, and just some flavoured quark on the top, lots, quite thick, and then raspberries and choc shop. And if I come and purchase some Oso chocolate later on in the day, then that will definitely be added to some of my recipes.
I think we are. Are we done now? Are we good?
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Yeah, you're good for it.
No, do you want to?
I don't. Let's not argue. Let's not bitter.
No, do you want to
bitter. What?
Don't worry about that. Do you want to? I do it. Do you want to do it?
Who do it?
No, you do it. Should we do it together?
No, you do
Let's
it.
do it together at the same
We'll
time.
do it together.
Because I have no idea what you're saying, and I have
You do
no
one,
idea
I'll
what
do
you're
the
going to
other.
say. Okay, go for it. You go first.
Which one should I do?
Well, the lovely brand at the end.
Right. I'll do it all. Don't worry.
Good. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna take our little lunch break now. So you can go out. There is they do a carvery out there, and I think there's a Subway about a mile up the road. So don't all bomb there at once, because it'll be a nightmare. Then if you notice, if you look behind you, you'll see that we've got the lovely people in from Oso Chocolate, so you can go and sample some of their amazing chocolates, and can you buy it as well? Are you selling it today? You're going to sell them? So you can get some Oso chocolate, which is very, very good. It's I'm not going to quote sins because we shouldn't, but it's very low sin, and it's lovely. What else is there? The raffle.
Yes, so the raffle's going to be drawn when we do the group chat later on. Also, one thing, so can I have a little hands up, please, if you're here on your own? Ah, there you go, perfect. Right, you're no longer on your own, okay? So in the break, I want you to all mingle, talk. All of the YouTubers, Instagrammers and stuff like that are going to be here in the break, and we want you to talk, because otherwise we've got to talk to each other.
And we're back at what, 1:15?
Yes, so what's the time now? It's about an hour.
12:30.
12:30. So you get back at 1:30, but please get back about 1:15, so that we can have an actual break. Vincent's over there. He's going to be showing you all of that kind of stuff. He's going to be showing you what you can do, and he's going to be showing you the equipment he uses. So guys, can we have a big round of applause for everybody that you've seen so far? We've got the photo booth, so if you're going to be taking any photos, then please hashtag SlimCon 2017, that would be great, and I will speak to you again in 1 hour's time. Thank you very much, guys.